This is how they built the Great Pyramid.
Imagine standing here 4,500 years ago. No cranes, no trucks, no steel machines, no modern construction equipment. And yet, in front of you, one of the largest structures ever built is rising from the desert, the Great Pyramid.
This Great Pyramid was the tallest structure. It covered 13 acres.
Now imagine something even crazier. What if we wanted to build the exact same thing today? How much would it really cost? Let's find out. First, we need the space. The Great Pyramid was roughly 230 meters wide on each side, covering an enormous area of the Giza Plateau. And that's before we even move a single stone. Now we need the stones. Around 2.3 million limestone blocks went into the pyramid, with many weighing several tons. So our first problem isn't the pyramid, it's the supply chain. We need quarries, we need workers cutting the stone, we need crews moving it, and we need a way to get millions of tons of material from one place to another. And this is where the ancient Egyptians get really interesting. They used sledges, ropes, waterways, and ramps to move enormous stones. Some limestone was quarried locally, while other materials had to travel much farther. So imagine the scene. Thousands of workers spread across the desert, one crew cutting stone, another preparing it, another hauling it, others building and managing the ramps, and above them all, an enormous pyramid slowly rising. And one important correction to the popular story. These workers weren't simply an army of slaves. Archaeological evidence at Giza points to an organized workforce that included skilled craftsmen and large numbers of laborers. They were fed, housed, and organized as part of a massive state project.
Welcome to the Great Project. Thousands of workers are building this monument. This was not a lawless crowd. Everyone had a specific role. They were highly organized. Welcome to the King's Chamber. We are finishing the Great Pyramid. How did they really build it? The true cost remains a mystery.
Because building something this big requires more than muscle, it requires logistics. Now let's make this modern. Today, we'd replace sledges and manual hauling with heavy machinery, trucks, cranes, and specialized equipment. But that doesn't make the project cheap. It makes the operation bigger. We'd need construction roads, fuel, equipment, engineers, safety systems, worker facilities, transportation, quarries, and an enormous supply chain operating for years. And then there's the land. You can't just drop a 230-meter-wide pyramid wherever you want. You need a site large enough for the pyramid itself, plus space for roads, equipment, storage, workers, and construction infrastructure. Now the bill starts climbing. Stone, labor. Transportation, equipment, engineering. Infrastructure, land. There is no single exact price for rebuilding the Great Pyramid today, because nobody has actually done it. The final number depends on the construction method, location, labor costs, material choices, and how closely we want to reproduce the original. Some modern estimates have placed the construction cost in the billion-dollar range, but the assumptions behind those estimates can vary dramatically. And that's what makes this question so fascinating. We're not just talking about buying a pile of rocks. We're talking about recreating one of the largest construction projects in human history. So could we build it today? Technically, yes. We have the machinery, we have the engineering, we have the transportation, we have the technology. But could one person simply write a check and make it happen? That's a completely different question. Because having billions in wealth doesn't mean having billions of dollars sitting in cash. You'd still need the land, the workforce, the supply chain, the approvals, the engineering, and years of coordination. So the Great Pyramid isn't just an ancient monument, it's a demonstration of something much bigger. Economic power, thousands of people, millions of blocks, millions of tons of material, and an enormous amount of organization, all concentrated into one structure. And if you tried to recreate it today, you wouldn't just be building a pyramid. You'd be funding a multi-billion-dollar mega-dash project. So the real question isn't, can we build the Great Pyramid today? We probably can. The real question is, who would be rich enough and crazy enough to pay for it?